The following is a presentation of the Watertown Baseball Association in partnership with Aero TV and KXLG Radio. This is coverage of the 2025 State A American Legion Baseball Tournament from historic Watertown Stadium on Post 17 TV. Now, let's head down to the diamond and round the bases with the KXLG pregame show on Post 17 TV.
Hey, good afternoon, baseball fans, and welcome to historic Watertown Stadium as we get set for game number 3 of the day on the championship side of the bracket to the 2025 Class A American Legion Baseball Tournament. I'm Brett Nathaniel. He's Nate Russell. We're going to get right into it here this afternoon between Rapid City Post 320 and Renner Post 307, and we are going to throw it right up to our public address announcer, Tyler Merriam, to get our starting lineups.
Hitting seventh, the shortstop, number 29, Noah Wald. Batting 8th, left fielder, number 10, Ethan Wilson. Batting 9th, the designated hitter, number 1, Kason Kostenbauer. The starting pitcher, number 27, Nolan Williamson. And the rest of the Rapid City Post 320 Stars with assistant coach J.T. Kostenbauer and the head coach Mike Jansen. Now let's meet the home team, the Royals of Renner Post 307. Leading off, center fielder number 7, Jack Stuckel. Batting second, the pitcher number 12, Rylan Arbogast. Batting third, shortstop number 4, Brody Jacobson. The cleanup batter, third baseman number 1, Brogan Moffitt. Batting fifth, second baseman number 13, Jackson Bjorkman. Hitting sixth, the left fielder number 5, Owen Lechtenberg. Batting seventh, first baseman number 10, Joe Neufeld. Hitting eighth, the catcher number 6, Sam Donahoe. Batting ninth, the right fielder number 3, Zach Sprinkle. And the rest of the Renner Royals with assistant coach Dalton Vanderloo and the head coach Isaac Struck. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you all please rise and remove your hats for the reading of the American Legion Code of Sportsmanship, to be followed by the presentation of our colors and then the singing of our national anthem. We begin with the recitation of the code by a member of the South Dakota State American Legion Athletic Commission, Mr. Dan Karst.
All right, excuse me. Before I get started, please, everyone, thank the great umpire in the sky for letting us have a great week of baseball so far, because he's held it up. Thank you, big guy. All right. And another thing I love about this Watertown, that sound coming out, you can hear it vibrate. Wake up that neighborhood, because when this fine, nice-looking young woman starts singing that national anthem and you hear it echo. Please, gentlemen, repeat after me. I will. Keep the rules. Keep faith with my teammates. Keep my temper. Keep myself fit. Keep a stout heart in victory. Keep my pride under in victory. Keep sound soul, clean mind, healthy body. See, I'm too excited. I'm sorry.
No apologies needed, Dan. At this time, we will have the presentation of the colors by Watertown American Legion Post 17. We remind everyone to please remain standing and honor the colors after our national anthem all the way through until they have been retired. And now to sing our national anthem, Annie Strickers.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you.
A wonderful rendition of our national anthem, and we are ready to play baseball here between Rapid City Post 320 and Renner Post 307. Game 7 of the tournament and game number 3 of the day as we move over to the winner side of the bracket. Harrisburg and Watertown, the 7 o'clock game here tonight. The winner here of Rapid City and Renner will move on to play the 7 o'clock game tomorrow night to play the winner of Harrisburg and Watertown. The loser of this game will get Yankton at 1 p.m. tomorrow in the elimination game. Renner Post 307, the defending champions, and I keep going back to this quote that their coach Isaac Struck told us that their season has been a roller coaster ride, but they were hoping to, that was their goal this year, was to reach that state tournament. They were trying to project upwards to play their best baseball as they get to the state tournaments. And Nate's, that's exactly what they did yesterday in their big win against Brandon Valley.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't ask for much more out of Bjorkman. 99 pitches, 60 strikes. I mean, that's almost a 2-to-1 strike-to-ball ratio. Incredibly efficient. He allowed 4 hits, and we talked, it was later in the game before they even got to the first hit for Brandon Valley. And if you're the top half of the lineup, Arbogast, Jacobson, Moffitt, all 2-4 in their at-bats, 2 hits, 1 RBI, 1 K each. It'll be interesting to see if their offense can maintain being a little bit patient against Rapid City Stars and being in the box. 9 Ks in the game against Brandon Valley yesterday, and we talked about how Nolan Carroll came out, right, and was not quite as efficient as he had hoped. So still collecting 9 Ks as the Renner offense is tough.
Now, Rapid City 320, they shocked everybody at South Dakota. I was watching that one at home on Post 17 TV yesterday, but coming out and shocking the 1 seed, their rival in the parking lots, what do they call it out in Rapid City? The parking lot contest between Rapid City Post 22 and Rapid City Post 324. 4-1 was the final there, sending 22 down to the loser outside of the brackets. And Rapid 320, they seem to be for real this year with a record of 32-28 as the first pitch is swung on and missed here by Jonah Blake.
Yeah, they came in as the 8 seed, but as we talked about yesterday, right, this whole field feels pretty open, and the fact that the 8 seed can come in and beat the 1 just speaks to that.
First 3 is Blake, Bird, and Sales for Rapid 320 as that one softly hit. Grounder tossed over in time for the first outs of the inning. The 6-3 put out, and there's a 1 away. To the plate is Bird, and the rest of the batting order here for 320 goes like this. Melhoff in the 4 hole, then Speed, Peterson, Wald, Wilson, and Kostenbauer, the lineup for Rapid City Post 320. So Bird will step into that batter's box. First pitch goes down for a ball. It's Arbogast on the hill here for Renner. And at Arbogast's name, a big one around the States. His brother Reese played up for that championship 2021 team. And his dad played for Watertown on the 1991 team.
And, of course, 1991, the last time we hosted the tournament. So, again, the family circle coming back around.
Big swing and a miss. 1-2 the count here to Bird.
I was a little curious. The Royals decided to play Bjorkman at second base here. Obviously, the throw's not quite as long. Didn't show any signs of stiffness after throwing 100 pitches yesterday on that first play.
2-2 the count here to Bird. You look at this Rapid City 320 team, and 6 of their players are going on to play some sort of college ball. As that one goes down for a ball, fills up the count at 3-2.
And this kind of the story of yesterday for some of the starters. Not quite able to be efficient to the zone. Hopefully Arbogast cleans it up a little bit if you're the Royals.
Big swing and a miss, strike number 3, and the second out of the inning. To the plate now is Tegan Sales.
Pretty good pitch there. Arbogast choosing to live on the outside corner that time. Bird not able to be as patient as he probably would have liked. Went fishing for that one, came up empty.
Arbogast fires in his first pitch. That is a grounder right to the second baseman. Bjorkman toss over to Newfield in time for the final out of the inning. And the Royals are ready to play this one. They are jacked up heading into the bottom of the first inning. No runs, no hits, no one left on. Back to the bottom of the first. We go scoreless. This is Post 17 TV.
The best way to get the most out of college is to do the most while you're in it. At Lake Area Tech,
Tech,
Construction.
you'll
If
learn
you're
in
looking
living,
for a
working
general
environments
contractor
with
for
hands-on
custom
training
homes
and
in and
real-world
around the
experience
Watertown
to
area,
prepare
or
for a
are in need of
high-paying
residential,
career you
commercial
love
home,
right
and
out of school.
commercial home remodeling,
From the
give
moment you
Tony
step on
Arnold
campus
Construction
until
a
you're
call
one of our
at
graduate success stories.
605-880-8497
When you start something here, you'll get an
or
education
email
you can really put to work,
TonyArnoldConstruction
and the
at
best return on your
gmail.com.
investment.
Good luck
Lake
to the
Area
Watertown
Tech.
Post
The
17
start of
baseball
something new.
team from Tony Arnold
At
Construction.
Active Heating, you could say we specialize in comfort, heating and air conditioning, plumbing, air and water quality. Active Heating is ready. Too hot or too cold? Our certified comfort experts for Pullman heating and cooling equipment can help. Don't let a leak drain your bank account. Our plumbers can handle it. Improve your air and water quality with an air purifier and reverse osmosis system from Active
Baseball
Heating. Your
fans,
local
stop
Coleman
into the
dealer.
Wheel
Active
Inn for
Heating
some
of Watertown and
home-cooked
Brookings.
food.
Your
Open
comfort
7 days a
experts.
week, serving breakfast,
Looking for a way to show your
lunch,
school
and
spirit
dinner
and
with
support the Watertown
best
School
staff
District?
in town. Plus,
With the Aero
online
Spirit
ordering
card
is
from American
available.
Bank and
Visit
Trust, you can do both.
WatertownWheelIn.com
Every time you use your
to order
Aero
your
Spirit debit
favorites.
card,
Come
a
to the
portion of
Wheel
your
Inn
purchase
before
goes right
or
back to the
after the
school,
game for
helping
your
fund important
home-cooked
programs
favorites.
and
Open
activities.
daily, 6
It's a
a.m.
win
to
for
8
you and
p.m.
a big
on
win
Highway
for our
20
students.
in Watertown. Good
Visit
luck
your
to the
local
Watertown
American Bank and
Arrows
Trust
in the
at
State A Legion
1715
Tournament.
First
From
Avenue
the staff
Northeast
at
today
the
to
Wheel
sign
Inn.
up and make a difference with every swipe. American Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
We're off to the bottom of the first inning, scoreless between Rapid City Post 320 and Renner Post 307. I'm Brett Nathaniel. He's Nate Russell. You're watching Post 17 TV. All this week, this broadcast in conjunction with the great folks at Aero TV, and big help as well with our friends from KXLG Radio here in Watertown. And I keep saying, and everybody that has texted me and emailed me saying this is a great production, I go, it's all Aero TV. I do Post 17 TV on my own. I'm a little one-man operation, but when we put this together and when it was decided, hey, we're going to bring Aero TV in, I was elated that we were going to have the best production in South Dakota to come here and do this. So thank you guys. Thank you, crew at Aero TV, for putting in all the hard work this week and making this tournament look fantastic. In the first three for Renner, Stukel, Arbogast, and Jacobson. First pitch into Stukel goes down for a ball. That is going to be delivered into left center, and coming on is Peterson. He will make the grab, and it's the first out of the inning. Pitcher Arbogast now will step to the plate for Post 307.
Arbogast yesterday going 2 for 4, had a couple of hits, an RBI, and a K. Looking to kind of, again, split that focus between hitting and pitching. We'll see kind of how that goes for him.
First pitch a little outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes here to Arbogast.
And for 320, if you're Williamson, the tone was kind of set yesterday by Fotz, right? We talked about how Bjorkman went 99 pitches. Fotz also went 95 and had even more strikes thrown.
Strike the call. Makes it even at 1-1.
And if you're 320, Fotz coming in and having that big of a day, trying to overcome the monkey on their back of beating 22, right? That's the kind of standout performance you need.
Strike the call there. 1-2 the count to the pitcher. Arbogast batting in the 2-hole. That is popped up and will go foul. Count still remains at 1-2.
Arbogast showing some patience here, taking a couple of strikes. I have a feeling some of that is probably his normal approach at the plate. Some of that might be a product of only having 2 pitches thrown to the first batter, Stukel, as well.
Fouled away again. Count is still at 1-2. Rest of the lineup here for Renner after Arbogast. It's Jacobson, Moffitt, Bjorkman, Lechtenberg, Neufeld, Donahoe, and Sprinkle. Pitcher is Williamson here for Rapid City. That pitch going to go for a ball, make it even at 2-2. Ground ball and scooped up there by the shortstop. The toss across in time, walled to speed for the second out of the inning on a 6-3 put out. 2 away. To the plates will come now Brody Jacobson.
Really good play there by Wald. That ball hit pretty up the middle there, having to range over to the glove side, and that's a hard thing to do as a shortstop because you have to get then your body repositioned to go and make that throw. And Arbogast, not a slow runner down to first base.
First pitch goes wild into the backstop. Ball 1 to the shortstop, Jacobson. Ground ball and going to be scooped up by the shortstop. The toss across in time. Walled to Speed again on the 6-3 putout and the second out of the inning. That's a great grab there, and the toss across just in time to make that final out of the inning.
Really good play there to get into the hole, get that throw. He didn't have time to get his feet set, got his feet under him just enough, all the way across, and then the stretch by Speed there to close the deal.
We're off to the second inning, scoreless. This is Post 17 TV.
Good
Glacier Lakes Power Sports and Golf is your indoor golf destination in Watertown, South Dakota. We have 4 golf simulators available to rent 7 days a week. Call us at 605-954-4080 to reserve your time, or visit our website
commercial
at
home and commercial
glpowersports.com.
home remodeling. Give Tony Arnold Construction a call at 605-880-8497 or email Tony Arnold Construction at gmail.com. Good luck to the Watertown Post 17 baseball team from Tony Arnold Construction.
Open 7 days a week in Watertown. Our starting lineup for KXLG Radio. Leading off at the front desk, Lori Kane. On the air, your power hitters, Jeremy Herbold, Ben Dillon,
Baseball
Jan
fans,
Robson,
stop
Tim
into the
Williams,
Wheel
Gary
In for some
Wentworth,
home-cooked
Robin Gibbons,
food.
Doreen
Open
Foster,
7 days a
and
week,
Jaden
serving
Thomas.
breakfast,
If it's
lunch,
news,
and dinner
Steve
with
Jurens
the
hits
best
it out of the park.
staff in
In
town.
sales,
Plus,
your closers,
online ordering
Andy
is
Turback,
available.
Ben
Visit
Dillon, Nicole Krause, and Brody Reese,
watertownwheelin.com to
and
order
skipper
your favorites.
Melissa
Come to the Wheel In
KXLG,
before
your
or
locally
after the
owned
game
community
for
radio
your
station.
Top of the second inning, we will see Melhoff, Speed, and Peterson due up here for Rapid City Post 320. Arbogast 9 pitches in that first inning. He'll toss that first one in, and it goes foul back into the parking lot. 0-1 to Melhoff.
So far, the Rapid City hitters appear to be pretty aggressive at the plate here. We talked about that. 9 pitches in the first inning is incredibly low. And when you have a team this aggressive at the plate, if you're Arbogast, you can start to expand a little bit on the edges.
That one scooped up by the third baseman. Easy over for the first out. Smuffets to Neufeld for that first out of the inning on the 5-3 putouts. And that'll bring to the plates now Max Speed as Rapid City 320 went down in the order in the first.
Speed yesterday with a big insurance run. They ended up not needing it, but cranking a home run over the left field. And watching that broadcast, they said the left fielder didn't even move. So you know that ball was hit.
First pitch, swung on and missed. Ball was low for strike. 0-1 here to Max Speed. That one going to go down for a strike as Speed now in the hole at 0-2.
So far, it looks like 320's plan early is attack Arbogast. Don't let him kind of get in a groove, but they've actually unintentionally then allowed him to.
That one's going to be popped up, shallow center, and coming in from center will be Stukel. He'll make the grab for the second out of the inning. 2 away to the plate now, Jet Peterson.
The only thing that I can say as a coach is this approach, while it's not having the results 320 is necessarily hoping for at the moment, they're apart from Bird's strikeout, the ball's getting put in play. And in baseball, all you can really ask for is get the ball in play and then force them to do something with it.
That pitch goes low for a ball. You know, we asked the question in the pregame show, is 320 for real? As if, you know, beating the #1 team in the state and your cross parking lot rival wasn't enough. 320 actually won their pool at the Gopher Classic and made it to the Sweet 16 this year. So that one's hit sharply down the first base line. That'll be fair. And a little bloop down the first base line. It gets Rapid City 320 their first hit of the afternoon as Peterson will reach.
And that's where we kind of talk about in baseball. Sometimes it's about hitting it where guys aren't, and then sometimes it's not about how hard you hit it. It's just where you place the baseball. That one jammed himself a little bit, getting the arms extended and getting a pitch that happened to be inside, but he was able to get it over the first baseman, Neufeld.
Noah Wald will step into the batter's box now here for the Stars and take in a first pitch for a ball. Wald, the #7 hitter for Rapid City. He'll foul that one into the nets. Count at 1-1.
So far here with the lower third of the order now at the plate, the Stars don't seem to be too aggressive on the bases. The lead looks normal, but doesn't appear to show any signs of going here.
And he'll go now as we'll get the throw to second. Got him! What a heads-up defensive play. Donahoe tossing it to Jacobson for the putout. And the third out of the inning will be Jet Peterson on a great defensive play.
Good
the best
luck
way to get
the
the most out of
Watertown
college
Post
is to do
17
the most
baseball
while you're in
team
it.
from
At
Tony
Lake Area
Arnold
Tech,
Construction.
you'll learn
If
in
you're
living,
looking for a
working
general
environments
contractor
with
for
hands-on
custom
training
homes
and
in and
real-world
around the
experience
Watertown
to
area
prepare
or
for a
are in need of
high-paying
residential,
career you
commercial
love
home,
right
and
out of school.
commercial home remodeling,
From the
give
moment you
Tony
step on
Arnold
campus
Construction
until
a
you're
call
one of our
at
graduate success stories.
605-880-8497
When you start something here, you'll get an
or
education
email
you can
Tony
really
Arnold
put to work.
Construction
And the
at
best return on your
gmail.com.
investment.
Good luck to
Lake
the
Area
Watertown
Tech.
Post
The
17
start of
baseball
something new.
team from Tony Arnold
At
Construction.
Active Heating, you could say we specialize in comfort, heating and air conditioning, plumbing, air and water quality. Active Heating is ready. Too hot or too cold? Our certified comfort experts for Pullman heating and cooling equipment can help. Don't let a leak drain your bank account. Our plumbers can handle it. Improve your air and water quality with an air purifier and reverse osmosis system from Active
Baseball
Heating. Your
fans,
local
stop
Pullman
into the
dealer.
Wheel
Active
In for
Heating
some
of Watertown and
home-cooked
Brookings.
food.
Your
Open
comfort
7 days a
experts.
week, serving breakfast,
Looking for a way to show
lunch,
your school
and dinner
spirit and
with
support the
best
Watertown School
staff
District?
in town. Plus,
With the Aero
online
Spirit
ordering
card
is
from American
available.
Bank and
Visit
Trust, you can do both.
WatertownWheelIn.com
Every time you use
to
your
order
Aero
your
Spirit debit
favorites.
card,
Come
a
to the
portion of
Wheel
your
In
purchase
before
goes right
or
back to
after
the
the
school,
game for
helping
your
fund important
home-cooked
programs
favorites.
and
Open
activities.
daily, 6
It's a
a.m.
win
to
for
8
you
p.m.
and a big
on
win
Highway
for our
20
students.
in Watertown. Good
Visit
luck
your
to the
local
Watertown
American Bank and
Arrows
Trust
in the
at
State A Legion
1715
Tournament.
First
From
Avenue
the staff
Northeast
at
today
the Wheel
to sign
In.
up and make a difference with every swipe. American Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Bottom of the second inning, scoreless between Rapid City 320 and Renner 307. Moffitt, Bjorkman, and Lechtenberg due up here for Renner. This half inning of work as the first pitch will go down to Moffitt for a strike. Big swing and a miss. 0-2. Williamson working at 11 pitches coming into the inning. That one goes down for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes here to Moffitt.
Williamson taking a little stroll there. Probably not quite where he wanted that pitch. With an 0-2, you can expand it a little bit. That one, I think, not quite as competitive as he wanted.
That's a strike, and a strike number 3. And the first out of the inning. And that'll bring to the plate now Jackson Bjorkman. Renner the last half inning, no runs, no hits, no one left on back.
Number 13, second baseman, Jackson Bjorkman.
Renner did go down in the order in that first inning of work. First pitch goes into Bjorkman for a strike.
Bjorkman not necessarily impressed with that call. That one maybe a little bit low. for the umpire, enough to catch the knees on the way in. And with Moffitt going down on strikes, this is the same umpire that called the outside corner all day long in the game yesterday.
That pitch will go down for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike here to Bjorkman. That one goes low. 2 balls, 1 strike. For Renner, the team plays a phone game called Clash Royale. And for the team, when they go out, they have to have a no phones rule, because as a team, there is so much trash talking between each other that they had to institute, hey, we're not going to have any of that talk, any of the Clash Royale talk while we are out and about.
It's good to have a competitive spirit, right? But when you start bringing your own teammates down, that becomes a negative thing. So good on Coach Struck for recognizing, like, I agree we should be competitive, but there's also a line when it comes to our own teammates.
Full count here to Bjorkman. That is going to be hit sharply into right field. Backpedaling is Bird. He will find it to close the glove to make the second out of the inning. To the plate now is Owen Lechtenberg.
And that ball for Bjorkman, it's kind of humid here still today, right? The air's a little bit heavy. We've got the smoke that's rolled in from the light north wind. Probably not as much carry as a normal summer day where it's a little bit less humid, a little hotter. That ball maybe stretches to the fence then at that point.
First pitch goes down for a strike here to Lechtenberg. He'll take a big cut there for a strike. Now the count at 0-2.
If you're Lechtenberg, you need to defend here. If you're Williamson, you don't want to be too fancy with this one. You'd like to get out of here in 1 or 2 pitches.
And he'll swing at that one. Strike number 3, the second K for Williamson. And Renner goes down in the order here in the inning. We're scoreless off to the 3rd. This is Post 17 TV.
Looking for family fun all in one place? Then come out to Legends. Tee off on their mini golf course, race your crew in go-karts, and strike up some laughs with mini bowling. Kids love the arcade, and parents, they've got you covered with cold beer and amazing food. And don't forget the cherry on top, SDSU ice cream. It's all happening at Legends, where fun meets flavor. Highway 212, Watertown. Mack Landscaping and Lawn Irrigation was started in 1983 and has developed into the top landscape and lawn irrigation business in the area. And it's not hard to see why. Just take a look at some of the work they've done. No job is too big or too small. Give Shane Mack a call at 605-880-6001 for landscaping, or Wyatt Mack at 605-880-0300 for lawn irrigation or lighting.
They say there's no guarantees in life. But who's they? And do they have Midco Internet? Now there's a guarantee. So let's go. Let's go reliable. Let's go resilient. Let's go beyond.
Top of the 3rd inning, scoreless between Rapid City Post 320 and Renner Post 307. Brett Nathaniel, Nate Russell along with you here. It's Wald, Wilson, and Kostenbauer due up here for the Stars in this half inning of work, as Arbogast is at 19 pitches. First pitch goes down for a strike.
Both pitchers very efficient through the first couple of innings. Obviously, Arbogast being at 19 is incredible.
Chased at that one as Wald slams his bat down, disgusted at himself that he allowed himself to chase that one, and now he's in the hole at 0-2.
And Wald back up to bat after being in the box last inning. Peterson getting erased on the bases, trying to take second, gets Wald a fresh count.
Big swing and a miss. Strike number 3. The second K for Arbogast and the first out of the inning. To the plate now for the Stars is Ethan Wilson. Still no hits. Nope, there was 1 hit back in the second inning for Rapid City, but that's it. First pitch goes down for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes here to Wilson.
And so far, the only hit of the game for either team. We're only in the 3rd inning, and it wasn't like it was a screaming single. That one just blooped over.
2-0. A little bit of a breeze, and I got to get out my paper clips to hold everything down now. That pitch goes for a strike. 2-1 to Wilson.
This so far the most patient at bat 320 has had. Maybe they've had a little bit of discussion in between the innings there, just in terms of we got to make Arbogast throw a few.
That one goes for a strike as well. Evens up the count at 2-2.
Now Wilson going to have to expand a little bit, has to fight.
Ball 3 issued there, and now the count is full at 3-2.
That outside corner has been there between yesterday and today. It's been called. I have to imagine that was called a little bit tall rather than outside.
That is a grounder picked up there by the shortstop. A little hop across in time for the second out of the inning. 6-3 putouts. And that'll bring to the plate Kostenbauer.
Jacobson to Neufeld there. Really good play on both sides. Jacobson gets into the hole, gathers that, gets it across. Neufeld, a great pick. The throw allowed for a little bit longer hop, so he was able to get his eyes on that one and not have to just immediately short hop pick it.
Kostenbauer, first pitch, little grounder, going to go foul down the first base line. 0-1 to Kostenbauer, the DH in the 9-hole here for the Stars.
And Kostenbauer, a left-handed batter, being the rollover guy for the lineup. You can hear from the first base side dugout the Royals saying, hey, you just never know. We know there's 2 outs, but this is a 9-hitter left-handed. You just can't take any chances.
Popped up, and we'll go foul. Kostenbauer at 0-2 now. That one goes outside. 1-2 to Kostenbauer. This inning led off with the Wald strikeouts, Wilson groundouts. And now a 1-2 count here to Kostenbauer. And that pitch will make it even at 2-2.
And this is where, if you're the Stars, you have to exercise a little bit of patience. It looks like Arbogast trying to be just a little bit too fine living on the edges instead of just attacking the zone.
Popped up, and we'll go back into the parking lots. Counts remains at 2-2.
Good at bat here by Kostenbauer. Even if he doesn't get on, he's spoiled a few pitches and fought so far.
That's a ball. Full count once again here to Kostenbauer.
And you can hear the right around chants coming from the Renner dugout. I think they recognize that that pitch was probably on the outside corner. But again, I think just a little bit too tall on the pass through.
And that is going to be ball 4. So a base on balls issued here by Arbogast. And 3:20 will get a man on here in the 3rd inning as we go back up to the top of the order. Second time through the order. Here's Blake. And there go the arrows as they're off to the locker room to get ready for their game tonight versus Harrisburg. 7 o'clock. We'll have it here on Post 17 TV.
And that walk by Kostenbauer, the first issued by either team so far, that's where having that slightly more patient approach, you can start to gather pitches up for the opposing pitcher as well as start to get a few base runners.
First pitch. That is going to be smacked into center field. Backpedaling there, Stukel. He will find it for the final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, one left on bag. We're off to the bottom of the third inning, scoreless between Renner and Rapid City.
Stop into Roy's Sports Shop for the newest and latest apparel, footwear, and equipment for your sports. Whether it's a new bat from Marucci, a glove from Rawlings, a new pair of shoes from Under Armour or Adidas, or a pair of Oakley sunglasses, Roy's Sports Shop has what you need. Check out their online spirit store for apparel from your favorite team or school. Let them know if you'd like to start a new online store for your team or organization. Roy's Sports Shop is a local business that has served our area for the past 50 years. Roy's Sports Shop, East Highway 212, Watertown.
Whether you're cheering on your team from across the state or across the country, just know right here in Watertown, Sharp Automotive is driving hometown pride forward. From new Chevys and GMCs to trusted service and parts, Sharp Automotive is proud to support South Dakota Legion Baseball in the next generation of hometown heroes. Shop online anytime at sharpgm.com. We'll be here when you're ready. Sharp Automotive, driven to serve and proud to support all baseball fans.
Bottom of the third inning, it's Neufeld, Donahoe, and Sprinkle here for the Royals. As first pitch will go down and swung on and missed for a strike. 0-1 to Neufeld.
And this is the part of the order we talked about prior to coming live on the air, Brent, where Coach Struck has chosen to kind of change things up a little bit. The top half of the order looks about the same, but nearly the whole bottom half of the order rolled into new players.
Had to chase after that one. 1-2. Speaking of new players here for the Royals, 11 of their 15 guys. This is their first experience in a state tournament. You're really relying on those 4 players that are part of that state championship team last year. And, you know, you can really see that with the poise and the way Renner has played so far here in the tournament.
Yeah, like we talked about yesterday, it's nice to at least have somebody to lean on. Now, it's hard when they have to lead a whole rest of the roster of new guys, but there's also less pressure.
Fouled into the nets. Count remains at 2-2.
Because all of those new guys that have turned over don't have the, I'm going to say, realization of how much weight this tournament can actually bear on somebody. And so they have kind of a blissful ignorance.
Popped up and will go foul once again. Count remains at 2-2. You can see the kids there in the back going to scramble after that ball so they can get their dollar out the concession stand. That one's just a little bit high. 3-2.
Really good at bat here by Neufeld. Spoiling pitches off, being patient on that last one. Pretty good take by him.
Ball 4, base on balls issued for Renner, their first base runner of the afternoon. To the plate now is Sam Donahoe.
Donahoe, one of the holdovers from yesterday's lineup at catcher, catching back-to-back days. At this point of the year, it's not the easiest thing in the world to do, but it actually worked a lot in their favor to be able to play, I'm going to say, late afternoon and then also late afternoon again.
Bunt shown, little dribbler scooped up there, and the toss across is in time. Williamson to speed, but doing their job was Donahoe getting Neufeld over to second back.
Pretty good bunt there. Donahoe does an excellent job of keeping that thing to the first base side, gets it deep enough that the pitcher has to come off and field it, and that keeps Neufeld out of danger of being put out at second base. I think Coach Struck opting to play a little small ball here, understanding post 320, again, their pitchers have come to play as well. Runs are going to be at a little bit of a premium so far, it seems.
Zach Sprinkle into the box now for the Royals. First pitch goes for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes here to Sprinkle.
We get to see Williamson work out of the stretch here, see if he's able to mechanically get his balance, get down the hill, and continue to fire strikes the way he's done up to this point.
That one's low outside. 2-0. What is the major difference when you're up on the hill, when you're working with the stretch versus any other type of mechanics when you're on that hill?
The biggest thing that you find, or I have found, I should say, when you go to the stretch, you have a lot less movement to try and gather momentum, and so it's hard to find that release point.
As that one is going to be delivered into right field, scooped up there by Bird, and runners are on the corners now here for Renner. Sprinkle with the single, sending Neufeld over to third bag.
Really good piece of hitting by Sprinkle there to A, get a line drive, but B, make sure that it stays to the right-hand side. That at least gave Neufeld an opportunity to potentially score. Now, really good job by Bird there of getting that gathered and getting it back into the cutoff man immediately, making sure that there was never a threat for Neufeld to actually end up going there.
We go back up to the top of the order. Second time through the order, it's Stukel. He's got a man 90 feet away. First pitch goes down for a strike. 0-1 to Jack Stukel.
If you're Williamson, this kind of situation can amplify that focus, see him get back in the zone right away there and work out front.
Strike. 0-2 to Stukel.
Stukel last time out flied to center field, so he got some contact. All it will take is a single here, and they'll have a run. It'd be interesting to see if they end up sending Sprinkle first to third, depending on where it's hit.
Williamson steps off, steps back on. Fires in. Outside, we're going to throw it to second, and the steal is on. Did he get him? He did not. And now the first base umpire going to come over, make sure, and now we are all good. As stealing there was Sprinkle, so he'll get the steal, and now there is 2 in scoring position for Renner.
Pretty good steal there by Sprinkle. He had kind of an awkward slide into second there. I think he thought the ball was going to beat him by a little bit more, but he was able to slide in and make it happen.
Infield comes in now as that pitch is delivered low. Makes it even at 2-2.
And for Williamson, first base is open. You only have 1 out. You don't necessarily want to walk the bases loaded, but it does mean you don't have to give in and throw something down the heart here.
Fouled away. Oh, he did swung on and missed, so strike 3 as Stukel will strike out, and that is the second out of the inning. To the plate now is the pitcher, Rylan Arbogast.
Stukel able to tip that one. However, for the Stars, Blake able to gather it and make sure that they retire Stukel and allow no further damage there.
That is low, going to get past the backstop. Blake retrieves it well, but kind of throws it awkwardly and grabbing it. There is the out. As what an out is made. I wasn't sure Blake was going to field that one cleanly and able to make the out at home, getting Neufeld. Here's the replay, and just in time. There's the grab And there's the touch, I believe. Yeah, right there. And I believe, yeah, there's the out. That's a close play at home. One more look at it.
And Brent, really important to note here, the way that Neufeld decided to slide in there, not able to get his feet in before the tag can be applied. Really good job by Williamson covering there, and by Blake by getting that ball there quickly.
We're off to the fourth inning, scoreless between Renner and Rapid City. This is Post 17 TV.
Good luck to the Watertown Post 17 baseball team from Tony Arnold Construction. If you're looking for a general contractor for custom homes in and around the Watertown area, or are in need of residential, commercial home, and commercial home remodeling, give Tony Arnold Construction a call at 605-880-8497 or email TonyArnoldConstruction@gmail.com. Good luck to the Watertown Post 17 baseball team from Tony Arnold Construction.
Baseball fans, stop into the Wheel Inn for some home-cooked food. Open 7 days a week, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner with the best staff in town. Plus, online ordering is available. Visit WatertownWheelIn.com to order your favorites. Come to the Wheel Inn before or after the game for your home-cooked favorite.
Another look here as we ended the third inning on a close play with the out at home. And what do you see here, Nate?
Well, one of the first things that stood out to me is as Neufeld comes in, you can see that lead foot that he's sliding with kind of pops up in the air. We talked a little bit off air, Brent, about there's a couple of different options there. You can come in head first and try and reach, but you're sliding into a guy, and it's not necessarily advisable to do that. So the other option is you go feet first, but you slide away from the guy covering. Williamson did a really good job getting there quickly, and so you slide away feet first to try and make him have to reach that tag and maybe hopefully get your hand in before he can reach you with it.
First three in this inning here for Rapid 320 is Bird, Sales, and Melhoff. It's a 2-0 count here to Bird. Strike to call there, 2-1.
Bird a little nonplussed with that strike call, I think, thinking maybe it was a little bit tall.
Big swing and a miss. 2-2.
And when you have one strike or no strikes, a big swing like that doesn't necessarily hurt you. That was a do damage swing. Unfortunately, he came up empty.
That's ball three, fills up the count, 3-2. Arbogast right now at 39 pitches in the ball game.
And so far for the Stars, I like the change in approach at the plate to be a little bit more patient.
That is a grounder through the gap into center field. That'll be a base hit here for the Stars in the fourth inning.
That ball, an absolute rocket off the bat, straight back up the middle. Jacobson gave it a dive, missed it narrowly, but that ball just absolutely ticketed for center field.
First time Bird has seen the bases in the ball game, and Tegan Sales to the plate now here for Rapid 320. That pitch goes down for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes here to Tegan Sales, who grounded out in his last at-bats in the first inning.
Sales kind of propelled the offense yesterday for the Stars. 2 for 4, an RBI and a run.
And that one's going to go down the third base line fair for a base hit. Back-to-back singles for Rapid City, as now the Stars have something cooking here in the fourth inning. So both teams really kind of started cooking here in the middle innings. Renner had 2 on in the bottom of the third, just couldn't get him across, and now 2 hits here for Rapid City, and 2 on to the plate is Colton Melhoff.
Meloff grounded out to the third baseman his last time up. So a ground ball there, hit pretty well. It'd be interesting to see if he finds a way to get the bat on the ball, or if the Stars are going to elect to erase a double play possibility by bunting. Looks like they're going to bunt. That ball's going to get spiked.
And it's going to go into right field, and the cutoff man missed the throw, and a run's going to come in. And nope, they're going to give... So infield.
What's happening here is by turning and spiking that throw, the umpires are going to rule that that throw was made to an unoccupied base. It wasn't thrown directly to the base in an attempt to make a play. So they are going to call a balk on this, which is going to allow the runners to move up just one base. So the run does not score there. They do advance, but they're not going to be able to. It's not a free play at that point. The umpire's choosing to kill that one, call it a balk, and just advance the runners one single base.
This is why it pays to have an umpire and a coach as your color guy.
and I will say that one was pretty immediate. I saw the first base umpire's hands immediately go up and kill that one.
First pitch goes down for a strike to Colton Melhoff.
And a slight difference, if that ball, if he had balked and like delivered it to home per se, there'd have been an opportunity for that play to continue.
Fouled in the dirt. 0-2 here to Melhoff. Nobody out, top of the fourth inning, scoreless, and 2 in scoring position here for the Stars.
And that would be a situation where the offense could choose the result then. If Melhoff was to crush one over the fence, then the balk is nullified. In NFHS rules, in high school ball, you have to kill that immediately. And in that case, there was no pitch delivered, so they chose, hey, we're going to end it here. That's a balk. Move everybody up.
0-2 the count to Melhoff. Arbogast going to fire in the 47th pitch of the ball game. And that is going to be hit by the pitch. Or is it?
So what they're going to call here is it is a hit by pitch. It is going to be a ball. However, what the umpire is ruling is that the batter did not make any attempt to get out of the way of the ball and simply absorbed it. And so they're going to continue to keep the keep the batter in the box.
Great job with the replay there. That's exactly what we saw. So we play on with an 0-2 count here to Melhoff.
It is going to move the count to 1-2. The umpire is going to rule that the pitch was a ball. If that ball had been in the strike zone and hit him, that would have been strike 3.
So 1-2 the count to Melhoff. Ball the call. 2-2 now to Melhoff.
And as an umpire, you never feel great about a guy getting hit and making him stay in the box. And what I always tell players is you have to sneeze, turn your head, do something that gives me the ability to defend you.
That one is sent over into right field. Grabbing is sprinkled. Tag is applied. And the run will score. The RBI will be for Melhoff on the sac fly over to right field. And it's 1-0 Rapid City.
2 things on that play. Actually 3 things. Really good piece of hitting there by Melhoff, getting down in the count and then coming back and getting that sac fly to right field. And he made sure that he got the ball to right field. Really good job of tagging up there, not only by the runner at third to get the RBI in, but also by Sales to advance to third base, seeing how the fielder had to collect that ball.
Max Speed steps into the batter's box and takes a first pitch for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes here to Speed, who flew out the center in his last at bat in the second. That is going to be delivered over into right field. Backpedaling, cannot grab it as Sprinkle as he was trying to look over his shoulder for that one. 1 run will score. We'll get a throw to third, but it's going to be a triple by Max Speed, sending in 1 run. 2-0 Rapid City 320.
And we're starting to see the Stars' patience pay off. They're seeing the ball deep, getting it driven to right field. Sprinkle unable to collect that one, then falls down. You're going to see this ball just get over him. This is where we talk as a coach. You need to sprint to the spot to get behind the baseball. As soon as you start backpedaling, things don't go well generally ever. And then really good speed there, by speed, to get all the way over to third.
He was made to be a baseball player, that's for sure, with a now last name like Speed, or radio disc jockey, because Speed is just an awesome name if you're a radio disc jockey. I wish I would have thought of that instead of Brent Nathaniel. But Jet Peterson to the plates now here for Rapid 320 as a meeting of the minds on the mound here between Arbogast and his infield. Is that just to kind of settle him down, even though you let 2 runs score here in the inning, you're still into this ball game?
A little bit of it is settle a guy in. Obviously, not a lot of this is in Arbogast's control, just in terms of he did throw the balk. That ball there not being caught, not necessarily on him, but he's throwing a lot of pitches, and so giving his legs a break and letting him refocus on the zone.
First pitch goes down to Peterson for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes here to Jets.
And a little bit, that's an opportunity to go out there and give your guy a vote of confidence and tell him, hey, we're not in danger here. We can get these runs back. You need to keep working for us.
That one's in the dirt. 2-0. Man on third there is Speed. Strike the call, 2-1.
And we'll have to go back to Game Changer to look how they ruled it officially. I have it in my book for Speed as a triple. It didn't look like Sprinkle got a glove on that. It just got over him. And so triple RBI for Speed there.
That is a grounder. Good play there. Scooped up, toss across in time. Second out of the inning. As that'll be a 5-3 putouts, and staying over on third will be Speed. Yep, they scored that as a triple.
Good defensive choice, positioning the infield a little bit closer in. That allowed Speed to get held there. As Moffitt gathered that, checked the runner, and then made a strong throw across. If he's deeper, I'm imagining Speed probably goes there.
First pitch goes down for a strike to Noah Wald, who struck out in his only at-bat back in the 3rd inning.
And it should also be said, for Speed, really well-coached base running to see that ball, not immediately assume it's going to go through, froze there and saw the ball in front of him and made sure there wasn't a bad out at home plate there.
1-1 the count to Wald. As that one is a grounder and be sent over to first in time. Bjorkman to Neufeld for the final out of the inning. 2 runs on 2 hits and 1 left on bag. We're off to the middle of the 4th inning. 3:20 on top of Renner, 2-0. Time now for KXLG Inside the Game. And let's send it over to Jeremy Herbolz.
All right, it's time for KXLG Inside the Game. We're here with Aaron Arbogast from Renner. You're a Watertown native. You played back in 91-92, correct?
6'3".
That's correct, yes.
All right, well, welcome back here to Watertown. Your son is on the mound pitching for Renner, and glad to have you back here. A lot of people recognize that name. What's it like being back here in Watertown for a state tournament?
You know, it's always fun coming back to Watertown because I spend so much time out here, and the field looks great, and I'm just really proud of what they've done with the stadium so far.
Absolutely. Well, you have 2 sons that have played Legion baseball, and you got kind of an interesting connection. Why don't you tell us about it?
So my oldest son, Reese, his very first Legion start was here in Watertown. And then my youngest son, Rye, his last game will be here in Watertown. And then my oldest son, his very first start was when Andy York was umpiring. And then Andy York's last game he umpired was with my youngest son.
Wow, that kind of hits home.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, Absolutely. Well, I really appreciate you coming out here, and best of luck for the rest of the tournament. But been a fun tournament so far, huh?
It's been great. It's been a great atmosphere, and you guys have done a great job out here.
All right. Well, we appreciate that. Thank you so much, sir. We'll let you get back to your seat. Thank you so much. All right. That's a KXLG Inside the Game. I'm Jeremy Herbold for KXLG Radio here on Post 17 TV. Back to the booth for more action.
Thank you very much, Jeremy. KXLG Inside the Game. Middle of fourth inning, all tournament long. Of course, tune in, KXLG pregame and postgame. Postgame, we'll chat with the coaches and the players from the winning team coming up in the KXLG postgame show. As we begin the bottom of the fourth inning, it is Arbogast, Jacobson, and Moffitt due up, and it's an 0-1 count here to Arbogast. Now an 0-2 count to Arbogast.
Not an ideal situation if you're Arbogast, throwing all those pitches, and now you got to try and step in the box and have to run some bases if you're going to find a way on.
That's a grounder scooped up by the shortstop Wald. He'll toss it over in time to Speed for the first out of the inning. One away to the plate is Brody Jacobson.
If you're Arbogast, you need to get back in the dugout here, get off your feet a little bit, get some liquids. Throwing all those pitches, then you had to run all the way down to first. You'd like to get a little bit of relax here after being at 57, 58 going into the next inning.
First pitch goes low to Jacobson for a ball. So I have to ask, this is the second time really Renner has not used the DH. Is there a philosophy behind that going in here to the state tournaments?
Well, it really comes down to how important is that bat in the lineup. The interesting part is they could have DH'd for Arbogast and then lifted the DH at that point that he was to go back in the field, if he was to go back in the field, if they got to that point. Again, Coach Struck choosing to turn over three different members of the lineup from yesterday where they scored a fair amount of runs. So it would be an interesting discussion to have in terms of A, no DH, but then also B, to change over so many players.
It's a 4-pitch walk issued for Jacobson, and Renner's now got a man on here in the fourth inning. We'll send to the plate now Brogan Moffitt.
Moffitt caught looking his last at-bat, so going to look to get the ball in play here, especially now that Jacobson's on first. It'll be interesting to see if Coach Struck sticks to the small ball strategy here. Still just a 2-0 ball game.
First pitch goes down for a strike here to Moffitt, and Jacobson over on first. He takes a little bit of a healthy lead.
And there's kind of two ways to approach your lead at first base. You can leave it short and take an extended secondary lead after the pitch is being delivered, or you can take a pretty healthy primary lead. And it looks like Moffitt choosing to take a pretty healthy primary lead. The other thing you have to remember is you got to get back pretty quickly should that pickoff move come. Williamson, not a super fast pickoff move, but enough to keep a guy close.
That pitch goes down for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike here to Moffitt. Williamson going to toss in his 52nd pitch of the ball game as that one's popped up and will go foul. 1-2 to Moffitt.
Of note there, the lead for Jacobson. He got out there a little further. I think he is getting that healthy lead with the intention of trying to get a few more pickoffs over there at first base, because as soon as he got settled in, he actually started retreating a little bit, understanding the ball may be coming his way.
Here's the 1-2 toss, as that one is going to be delivered into left field. Grabbing it is Wilson for the first out of the inning. So 1 away, and to the plate now, 2 away, and to the plate now is Bjorkman.
Obviously, yesterday, Bjorkman, the star on the mound, getting the opportunity to put the bat on the ball here. Kind of an important position here. You'd like to see the ball get put in play and at least get runners moving around, at least have a threat to put Williamson under some stress.
First pitch goes down for a strike. 0-1 to Bjorkman.
And Brent, you and I talked yesterday about not all pitches are the same, especially the later the game goes on. Arbogast obviously having to throw with bases loaded, runners on, threats of score. Williamson so far not having to.
Toss to second, but easily reaching is Jacobson with the stolen bag. Strike was the call to Bjorkman, now with an 0-2 count. So Renner now with that 0-2 count with 2 outs. They've got a man in scoring position.
If you're Bjorkman, anything into the outfield grass, single, double, doesn't matter. Something to allow the opportunity to score.
That is blocked there by Blake. He'll scoop it up, and heading over to third will be Jacobson on the wild pitch. So now Renner with the man 90 feet away here in the 4th inning.
Jacobson, just based on these 2 base paths that he's taken, really good base runner. Number 1, really good jump to steal second base. That throw offline, but really wasn't going to be in time. And then reading that pitch in the dirt.
And swung on and missed. Strike number 3, as Bjorkman will be the final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, and 1 left on bag on third. We're off to the 5th, 2-0 Rapid City. This is Post 17 TV.
William Neal & Company would like to wish the Watertown Post 17 Legion baseball team good luck this season. Another great team for all your auditing, accounting, and tax preparation needs are the professionals at William Neal & Company, a full-service accounting firm serving the area for over 50 years. Offices located in Watertown and Clark. Give them a call today at 886-6028. That's 886-6028.
Do something to launch your future at Lake Area Tech. It's a living, working, thought-producing environment to help you level up in the workforce. Combined with hands-on training and real-world experience, you'll be ready to find a high-paying career you'll love right out of school, the way 99% of our graduates do. It's the best return on your college investment, the quickest path to your future success. Lake Area Tech, the start of something new.
Glacier Lakes Power Sports and Golf is your indoor golf destination in Watertown, South Dakota. We have 4 golf simulators available to rent 7 days a week. Call us at 605-954-4080 to reserve your time, or visit our website at glpowersports.com.
Wilson, Kostenbauer, and Blake due up here. Top of the 5th inning for Rapid City 320, leading Renner 2-0. I'm Brett Nathaniel. He's Nate Russell, along with the crew from Aero TV and the crew from KXLG Radio. We're glad to have you along all this week here on Post 17 TV, your home for the 2025 Class A American Legion State Baseball Tournaments. Arbogast at 58 pitches up on the hill here to begin this inning, as Wilson steps into the box looking for his first hit of the afternoon. First pitch goes down for strike. 0-1 to Wilson. Light sprinkles here at the stadium. You can see the smoke as well, a little bit of haze on the camera. Smoke, I read online a little while ago, going to be a little thicker tomorrow, as that one is sent into right center. What a grab by Sprankle. Oh my heavens, Sprankle with the grab of the ball game.
Really good job by Sprankle there of getting the line on this ball, seeing that it's starting to dive, getting within range, and then committing to leaving his feet, making a play for Arbogast. Instead of letting that ball bounce and settling, he went and got the thing.
Kostenbauer, the number 9 hitter, to the box for Rapid 320. He showed bunt, pulled back, ball to call. He was going to try to get out front of that one, wasn't he?
Yeah, the Ichiro kind of Happy Gilmore style, get your feet out. And if you remember back to the third inning when he was last up, they did say, never know, left-handed batter, rollover guy.
Popped up, playable, in foul position. Moffitt's going to track it down, and there is the second out of the inning.
That time dropping the barrel a little bit, got under it, popped it up over into foul territory, and Moffitt just kind of settled under it, makes the easy catch.
Back up to the top of the order, the third time through the order here for the Stars, it's Jonah Blake.
Obviously, the Stars have already scratched a couple of runs across. The third time through the lineup is kind of where you see most of the damage happen. And pitch count-wise, Arbogast starting to get into that questionable neighborhood.
First pitch goes down for a strike as Blake will swing at that one.
And I did see a little bit of action in Renner's bullpen. If you play MLB The Show, you're familiar with the stretch and toss option. I have a feeling that's what Coach Struck opted for, not actually fully getting anybody loose, but making sure that they're at least getting warm.
Winner of this game will play the winner of our next game, Harrisburg and Watertown, about 7:30 tonight. That one going to go down for a ball, 2-1. Loser will play Yankton tomorrow in the elimination game at 1 o'clock. Yankton and Post 22 both moving on today. Yankton beating Pier 3-2. And Post 22 defeating Yankton 11-9. Brandon Valley put on the comeback. I thought they were going to do it. They put on a big comeback in that 7th inning, and most of that was with 2 outs. That is a ball hit sharply to center. Grabbed there by Stukel. It's the final out of the inning as Rapid City goes down in the order here in the 5th. No runs, no hits, no one left on bag. Off to the bottom of the 5th, 2-0, Rapid City 320. This is Post 17 TV.
In town for the game or just passing through? Well, swing by Country Road Barn, home of the area's best smoked meats, brisket, ribs, pulled pork, all slow smoked to perfection and served with that small town charm. They're open Wednesday through Friday, 5 until 9 p.m., so plan your visit and bring your appetite. It's a true taste of small town South Dakota and worth every mile. The Country Road Barn, just minutes from Watertown and a home run for your hunger. Stay connected with them on their Facebook page or website.
As one of the nation's strongest financial organizations, First Premier Bank and Premier Bank Card have the strength to do good. We support nearly 700 organizations and nonprofits. Our employees give more than 30,000 volunteer hours annually. And we are continually seeking ways to make South Dakota an even better place to live. It's the Premier Way. First Premier Bank and Premier Bank Card.
Lechtenberg, Neufeld, and Donahoe due up here for Renner in the 5th inning as they trail Rapid City 320-0.
The throwdown escaping into center field while they take a second to get it dried off and gathered. Unfortunately for the Twins fans in the listening area, Johan Duran being traded to the Phillies.
Yep, I saw that was going to be a possibility earlier today. They're really throwing the fire sale there for the Twins. First pitch goes down for a strike to Lechtenberg. Strike 2.
And if you're Coach Struck and the Royals, you're not pushing the panic button here yet. It's still well within reach at 2-0, but getting late early is the phrase that I would use here. You'd like to see at least a run come across here.
1-2 here to Lechtenberg, who struck out in his only at-bat back in the second inning. And really, this is telling. This is only the second time through the order here for Renner, as Williamson going to toss his 58th pitch of the ball game. That is hit sharply into left field. That's a base hit, and that's exactly what Renner wanted to do here in this 5th inning. Lechtenberg will get on with a leadoff single and bring to the plate Joe Neufeld.
Really good piece of hitting there by Lechtenberg, keeping the hands behind that baseball, letting it travel, and then getting that thing right down the third baseline. As a left-hander, you're really one of two hitters. You're either a dead pull hitter and you crush everything, or you're a guy that stays behind the baseball and just sprays to the opposite field. Lechtenberg that time doing a great job staying behind it and getting the single through.
Neufeld showing bunts as that one's going to go in the dirt. 0-1 here to Joe Neufeld.
Neufeld taking a little bit of a stab at that one. Did a good job getting in the top half of the baseball, but got a little bit too much of it and just fouled it straight down instead of getting it in play.
Bunt shown again and pulled back. Ball to call. 1-1 to Neufeld. What is the art of bunting? What exactly what is that perfect pitch you're looking for when you're up there and you know you're going to try to bunt?
Well, obviously you're looking for anything middle, but really what you're looking for is something middle up even, something you can get on top of and get out there.
That pitch going to go for a strike.
And that pitch there, being probably middle down, it looked pretty close to middle down. That's one of the tougher ones to bunt because you have to try and go reach for it instead of letting it come to you. So really good job there by Williamson, putting that pitch in a really tough spot to try and put down.
Throw to first, not in time.
Good check there by Williamson. Obviously, we understood the bunt play is on before. Understanding now is an opportunity where they might try and steal, making sure that that runner's not going anywhere.
That one's going to be fouled into the nets. Count is still at 1-2.
Pretty common for a lot of baseball teams. If you don't get that bunt down, you at least try and get the runner into action, trying to steal second base once you get to that 2 strikes. Number of reasons there. Obviously, the whole goal is to advance that runner into scoring position, but at a 1-2 count, you are a lot more likely to get some type of off speed, something that Blake is going to have to try and block, and so it's a better opportunity at that point to try and get the base a little easier.
1-2 remains the count here to Neufeld with man on first. That pitch going to go down for a ball. Good check there by Blake, kind of staring down the runner, Lechtenberg at first, just holding that ball just for 1 second to really know, hey, we're kind of watching you over there.
And Lechtenberg does a good job of getting a good secondary. Blake, sometimes that delayed steal happens on the throwback, and so ensuring that Lechtenberg not going to take that extra base.
That pitch going to go down for a strike. Strike number 3. A great outing there for Williamson to get the strikeouts and the first out of the inning. Sam Donahoe to the plate now here for Renner.
And if you're Coach Struck, that's the worst possible scenario in that instance. You didn't get the bunt down. You had a couple opportunities at it. And then you record the out without getting the ball in play and even getting the opportunity to move Lechtenberg up.
First pitch goes down for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes here to Donahoe.
Donahoe was the sacrifice last time up. He was able to put that bunt down and move Neufeld up.
Runner goes. That one's in the dirt. Throw to second will not be in time. And now Renner's got a man in scoring position on the steal there by Lechtenberg.
And Lechtenberg, a really good jump there. He was taking off pretty quickly. this is kind of a good instance where I talked about earlier, the higher you go, the more likely you are stealing on the pitcher as opposed to the catcher. Williamson not lightning quick to the plate, and then a good pitch to steal on as it goes into the dirt and Blake has to dig it out.
Sprinkle to the plates will come after to Donahoe, I should say. 3-0 to Donahoe. So I was saying if we play on, it'll be Sprinkle here for Renner. (3-0). Strike the call, makes the count at 3-1. We led off this inning with the Lechtenberg single. He stole seconds. Neufeld struck out. Now Donahoe staring down a 3-1 count as Williamson going to send in the 69th pitch of the ball game. Popped up, and is it playable for the catcher? Tosses off the mask, and we'll go where the ancient press box used to be here at the stadium.
And you can see Blake pops up, ditches the mask as far away as possible to make sure he doesn't have an accidental opportunity to step on the thing. Really good job of getting out and making sure. One of the things that you teach a catcher is when that ball goes up, it's always going to work its way back towards the infield. So he made sure if that thing worked back, he was there to have an opportunity at it.
Full count now to Donahoe as that one is going to go down for ball 4, and there's the tying run for Renner. On the ball 4, Donahoe takes first. Zach Sprinkle to the plate now. And now we are going to get a mound visit here for Rapid City.
And if you're Rapid City, this mound visit, really an opportunity to talk about, okay, if they use the 9-hitter to bunt, here's what our defense looks like. We might maybe put a wheel play on here, but obviously that's going to have to get called from the dugout as the infield is gathered back near second base as opposed to part of this mound visit. And really, you're letting Williamson know, hey, we're not warming anybody. This is your inning. This is your batter. You're doing a really good job. And ultimately, you're one pitch away. You shoot us a ground ball here, we get 6-4-3, 4-6-3. We get double play. We get out of this pretty easily. And this is the closest thing to stressful inning that Williamson has had so far. And so it'll be interesting to see how he approaches now pitching to Sprinkle. Like we talked about, pitching under stress is a lot different than pitching with nobody on.
2 on for Renner. Tying run is on first. Bunt shown, dribbler goes foul down the third base line. You know, with only 1 out, that's not a bad call here by Renner to try to advance those runners over.
And the way that he bunted that, trying to pull that thing down the third base line, it's interesting because conventional wisdom would tell you you actually want to put this thing towards the first base side to try and protect that runner going to third. You don't want to get your lead runner erased. That tells me most likely either Sprinkle was bunting on his own or was attempting to bunt for a hit at that point.
0-1. Big swing and a miss. 0-2 to Sprinkle. 1 away here, bottom of the 5th inning, 2-0, Rapid City 320.
Now Sprinkle going to have to try and earn it the hard way through a single or a double. Let's see if he can get the bat on the ball here.
Ground ball going to be scooped up there. Out at second, cannot make the play at first. So reaching will be Sprinkle on the fielder's choice. And staying on Lechtenberg will actually move to third. The outs will be Donahoe at second on the 6-4 putouts and the second outs of the inning. Back up to the top of the order here. We're in the 5th inning. Only the 3rd time through the order for Renner. It's Jack Stuckel.
And that ground ball, not necessarily tailor-made to go 6-4-3. And having to hold the runner at second there, the shortstop for Rapid City, Wald, had to come and gather that thing. Took him an extra second because he had to get it deeper in the shortstop hole, get it over, and they at least made sure they got 1 out.
0-1 the count here to Stuckel. We get a new ball, and Home plate umpire making sure that plate is clean enough to eat off of. I hear walking tacos is for supper tonight between the innings.
And if you're super lucky, you get there before Roger Merriam so that you can at least get one.
I hear he's on 2 or 3 so far.
That was just the appetizer.
I think so. That pitch going to go down for a strike. 0-2 now to Stukel.
That foul tip by Stukel got a piece of Blake, and so the umpire giving Blake a little bit of an opportunity to gather himself.
As they're going to call a balk, they will. So Sprinkle heads over to second. Runners in scoring position now here for Renner.
And no balk called there. The runner on third stays. They just had him step off, and he just conceded the runner.
As that one's grabbed up there by Sales, he'll toss over in time on the 5-3 putouts to end this inning. So Renner gets him in scoring position, but cannot move him in. We are off to the 6-0 Rapid City. This is Post 17 TV.
Glacier Lakes Power Sports and Golf is your indoor golf destination in Watertown, South Dakota. We have 4 golf simulators available to rent 7 days a week. Call us at 605-954-4080 to reserve your time, or visit our website at glpowersports.com.
Infinity Fun is the place to be. They got trampolines, they got bowling, they got mini golf, they got games, they got food that's insanely good. Infinity Fun, they got trampolines, they got bowling, they got mini golf, they got games, they got food that's insanely good. Infinity Fun.
Open 7 days a week in Watertown.
Your starting lineup for KXLG Radio. Leading off at the front desk, Lori Kane. On the air, your power hitters, Jeremy Herbold, Ben Dilla, Jan Robson, Tim Williams, Gary Weckworth, Robin Givens, Doreen Foster, and Jaden Thomas. If it's news, Steve Jurens hits it out of the park. In sales, your closers, Andy Turback, Ben Dilla, Nicole Kraus, and Brody Reese. And skipper, Melissa Herbold. KXLG, your locally owned community radio station, still undefeated.
Welcome back to Watertown. Renner trails Rapid City Post 322-0. Rapid City coming to bat here. They're going to send to the plate Bird, Sales, and Meloff. If you're Rapid City 320, you're in the driver's seat, and you have the right part of the lineup coming up here, Brent. Really, you worked your way out of that jam. You have a lot of confidence going here into this top of the 6th. Insurance, probably something you're looking for here. 1 run, if not more.
You know, you are playing the defending state champions, and, you know, they beat Brandon Valley yesterday 6-2 in a game that, you know, they came out, and their coach, Isaac Strug, said, hey, we're looking to play our best baseball in the state tournaments, and they really did yesterday. And, yeah, if you're Rapid City, you want to get those insurance runs, and it all begins with Bird as he will lead off this inning on a first pitch strike from Arbogast, who's at 66 pitches coming into the inning.
And we talked about off air, Brent, after the top of the 5th, Arbogast being at 66 coming into this inning changed the entire complexion of how they might approach things.
That one goes for a ball, 1-1.
You went from perhaps needing to bring in another pitcher to only 2 innings left and over 30 pitches to play with is a pretty good place to be.
2-1, and now to Bird. Bird a single in his last at-bats back in the 4th, and that is where Rapid City did all their damage. 2 runs on 2 hits in the 4th inning. That pitch goes outside, 3-1.
And Bird was the one that kind of led things off there with that single. Now in a really good spot to try and lead off again with some type of get on base here, whether it be walk or hit.
Big swing and a miss, strike number 3. And the first out, nope, excuse me, the second, strike 2. Excuse me.
Really healthy cut there on 3-1. That was a, I'm trying to run all of the bases, not just one of them there on that swing. So
fouled away. Count still full at 3-2.
And that right there, a good example. We talked earlier about, Blake being able to squeeze the foul tip. That time, Donahoe unable to squeeze it. It allows the at-bat to continue, allows the opportunity for Bird to try and find a way on base.
Got him there. Strike number 3 and the first out of the inning. To the plate now for Rapid 320 is Tegan Sales.
You just were a couple of pitches early on the strike 3. We'll just call you the Oracle. You knew what was coming. You foresaw.
When they step out of the box like he did, oh yeah, strike 3, yep, there we go. And first pitch goes down for strike here to Sales.
Sales kind of checking that swing. It always makes you kind of drop your head a little bit when you check swing, and somehow you still end up fouling it off and getting the strike anyway.
Popped up. Is it playable for the catcher? He's going to try and cannot make it. There's Donahoe. That one was just at the nets.
And that's a really tough spot to be. You could hear from the first base dugout the Renner Royals bench yelling, got room, got room. As a catcher, it's really hard to trust that, though, because you know there is a concrete wall impending, and the last thing you want to do is run into that thing full speed. And so I think Donahoe, that played a little bit into his mind, lost track of the baseball, and the at-bat continues.
Yeah, no padding there. That is 80-year-old concrete here at the stadium. First pitch goes, that pitch goes down for a strike, the second one of the inning, and the second out here of the 6th. Colton Melhoff to the plate now for Rapid 320.
And I think important there, both of those Ks this inning have been looking. So they went down without giving themselves the opportunity on that last strike to at least get the ball in play.
That one is delivered into center field. Stukel with the running grab. And Rapid City will go down in the order in the 6th inning. What a grab there. A big hit out to center field for Stukel as he'll make that running, jumping grab to end out the 6th inning. 2-0 Rapid City. We are off to the bottom of the 6th inning. 2-0 Stars. You're watching Post 17 TV.
Midwest Foam and Coatings LLC is a family-owned and operated full-service insulation company specializing in spray foam application and energy efficiency. They offer all types of insulation like spray foam, blown-in cellulose, blown-in fiberglass, and fiberglass bats. Midwest Foam and Coatings also does insulation removal along with specialty coating that can restore rubber and metal roof systems. Visit their website for more information at mwfoam.com. Good luck to the Watertown Post 17 baseball team from Midwest Foam and Coatings.
Between working on our farm and being a surgical nurse here at Prairie Lakes for 43 years, my shoulders have been through a lot. I needed a different kind of surgery. It's called a reverse total shoulder replacement. Different shoulders are different. With surgeons like Dr. Johnston here in Watertown, I didn't need a different city, just a different plan.
Prairie Lakes Healthcare System. Your health, our mission.
In the heart of South Dakota, where community and traditions thrive, ReliaBank has been a trusted presence for over a century. From our humble beginnings in 1920, we've grown alongside our communities, committed to financial success and community betterment. At ReliaBank, hometown customer service isn't just a promise, it's our legacy. Your success is our success, so let's keep growing together. Today, tomorrow, and for the next 100 years. Experience banking where hometown values still matter.
Arbogast, Jacobson, and Moffitt due up here for Renner in the bottom of the 6th inning. Arbogast with a 1-0 count. He'll swing on that one and miss. 1-1.
This is an interesting spot. Coming into the inning at 79 pitches for Williamson. If you're Renner, this is your 3rd time through the lineup.
Strike the call there. 1-2 the count.
But the interesting dichotomy is, at some point, you've seen a guy enough, you might be able to do some damage, but you also don't necessarily want to keep facing him the way that Williamson's been cruising.
That one's going to be delivered to the second baseman. Toss across in time, and Milhoff to Speed for the first out of the inning. 4-3 putouts, one away. Brody Jacobson to the plate here for Renner.
And so what you're looking at if you're Renner is, do we want to try and crack through? Obviously, we need 2 runs. Obviously, we want to make that happen. But do we want to make it happen when Williamson's in there? Or do we want to be patient and try and get Williamson out of there by running his pitch count up some and try and get into that 320 bullpen, which up until this point, Brent, hasn't been active?
Yeah, it's been pretty quiet on our side of the field, as that is a grounder foul down the first base line. Got to think there's going to be some action here soon with Williamson at 84 pitches.
I think some of that may be going to be predicated on how efficient he is this inning, but we saw the pattern yesterday. They were content with letting Fotts go.
That pitch goes outside. 1-2. And once again, if Williamson goes, well, he's past 80, so he won't be available if they would make the championship game on Saturday. Big swing and a miss. Strike number 3. Jacobson will strike out swinging, the second out of the inning. Brogan Moffitt to the plate here for Renner. And let's go back to the pitching a little bit. It really is a tale of a couple of different philosophies. We saw philosophies like yesterday with Watertown. You know, once Rylance got to 80, boom, done. You got to pull him because you want that chance to have him on Saturday if you enter the championship game. Here for Rapid City, just let him go, as that is a quick one to Bird. We'll finish this conversation as we head into the 7th. 2-0 Rapid City. We're off to the 7th. This is Post 17 TV.
Looking for family fun all in one place? Then come out to Legends. Tee off on their mini golf course. Race your crew in go-karts. And strike up some laughs with mini bowling. Kids love the arcade. And parents, they've got you covered with cold beer and amazing food. And don't forget the cherry on top, SDSU ice cream. It's all happening at Legends, where fun meets flavor. Highway 212, Watertown. Mack Landscaping and Lawn Irrigation was started in 1983 and has developed into the top landscape and lawn irrigation business in the area. And it's not hard to see why. Just take a look at some of the work they've done. No job is too big or too small. Give Shane Mack a call at 605-880-6001 for landscaping, or Wyatt Mack at 605-880-0300 for lawn irrigation or lighting.
They say there's no guarantees in life. But who's they? And do they have Midco Internet? Now there's a guarantee. So let's go. Let's go reliable. Let's go resilient. Let's go beyond.
Top of the 7th, 2-0 Rapid City, as the Stars will bat Speed, Peterson, and Wald. Arbogast at 77 pitches, trying to get out of this inning here. Let's go back to our pitching conversation. It is really a couple of different philosophies. Like I mentioned yesterday, we're pulling pitchers after 80 just in case you're going to make that championship game. We're here in this game number 2. You're letting these pitchers go. You're letting them go to 80, 90, 105. It's really a vast oof, as that is going to be hit by a pitch here for Speed to get a man on. But it's really a difference of philosophies for these two squads.
And really, you have that plan set up coming into the tournament. You might potentially, based on matchups, maybe have a conversation the night before, once you know who's won what games and who your opponents are. But Coach Neal, for example, with Watertown last night, talked about it. He said since January, That has always been the plan. Rylance throws game 1, goes 80 pitches, and then is available for the end of the tournament. And then he went to the mound, and Rylance said, that's been the plan. Trust the plan.
First pitch goes down for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes to Jet Peterson as Speed gets on, hit by a pitch here in the 7th.
Peterson actually going to go down 0-1. The umpire pointed, indicating that Peterson offered at that pitch.
That one is going to be delivered into left center. Going to go back and around at the fence. Speed going to go on his way in. It's an RBI double by Peterson.
And after having offered at the first pitch, you could tell Peterson was in hit mode. He gets all of this thing, gets it past the outfielders, rolls all the way to the fence. I was a little surprised that he pulled up at second base. Now, conventional baseball wisdom tells you you don't ever want to make the first or the third out at third base. And that ball hadn't quite made it to the cutoff for him to advance on perhaps a throw home. So pulling up at second there with an RBI double, plenty enough for Peterson.
Bunt shown, dribbler in the infield, scooped up and no play. Wald will reach Peterson to third, and now rapid 320's got runners on the corners as Arbogast comes out, and well, by the time he got to that ball, there was really no play as Peterson speedily heads over to third.
Really good bunt there by Wald to put that thing down the third base line. Again, gets Arbogast off of the mound, has to go get it, and pretty good speed there by Wald. No opportunity for a play, so Arbogast at least fakes a throw, see if you can get Peterson to at least come off the base a little bit, and so from that instance, there's really nowhere else to go with the baseball at that point.
So meeting of the minds on the mound for Arbogast as he has had 81 pitches. And what are you telling your pitcher here in this situation?
Well, it's a little bit of a discussion with the pitcher. This is probably more with runners on the corners, a discussion about here's what we're going to do to handle this. We have no outs at this point, but we also can't afford more runs to score. So probably a little bit of a philosophy on how are we going to approach a first and third if they try and steal, and then making sure Arbogast knows, hey, we're not warming anybody. This is yours.
First pitch goes to Wilson for a strike. 0-1 to Ethan Wilson.
And at this point in the tournament, day 2, once you reach that 80 pitches, you're pretty much done for the weekend. That really kind of setting the table is where the 80 pitches comes in at.
Squeeze play there. Another run's going to score. 4-0 Rapid City.
And really good job there of getting the delayed steal on. You get Wald going to second base. Very clearly a cut play there called by Renner's defense. The throw high by Donahoe, then allowing Peterson the opportunity to take home. The throw way too late after a high throw down from Donahoe.
Wilson with a 1-1 count. Bunt shown, pulled back, ball to call. 2-1.
And so at this point on day 2, you've already made this day. You can absorb a loss, and sometimes you choose, hey, we're going to lamb this guy out. He's going to eat the thing. Sometimes you try and make sure if you have the opportunity for a comeback.
Little dribbler down the third base line. No play. As now runners are on the corners once again here for Rapid City. And this has been a really smart 7th inning for the Stars.
Really smart 7th inning in the instance of getting a couple of bunts pretty much in perfect places. Now, on that play there, Moffitt fakes the throw, but the problem is the second baseman vacates to go cover first because the first baseman's crashing because first is empty at that point. And so he got Wald to at least come around the base, but there's nobody behind him to throw it to backpick him. So actually, safe move by Wald to come and be aggressive on that turn just in case something happens there. Now, again, it's interesting to see what Renner's going to choose to do here. There's already 2 additional runs across. You kind of just need to get outs at this point and limit the damage.
New batter at the plate. Colby Witt will slide into that 9 hole as he shows bunt. Pulls it back. Strike.
And I have a feeling what this is an opportunity for Coach Jansen to get somebody else in there to hit, because based on the bullpen, what we saw is Kostenbauer's probably the next arm up.
Throw to second, not in time. Another run's gonna score. It is 5-0 Rapid City, as the Stars ran pretty much the same play they did before to get another run to score.
The only slight difference there, if you go back to the first one where Peterson scores and then you go to this one where Wald scores, the play where Peterson scores, he waited until that throw got through and then was able to score. On that one, Wald off immediately as soon as the ball got thrown down. So that was not a read play, that was an immediate, I'm taking it as soon as it's thrown.
1-2 the count here to Witt. 3 runs in the 7th inning here for Rapid 320. That is going to get behind Donahoe, and sliding over to third will be Wilson. And now Rapid City with another runner just 90 feet away. Still nobody out here in this 7th inning.
Coach Struck mulling around in front of the dugout, and this is where we're just going to let Arbogast go and kind of let him wear the rest of this strategy. It can kind of backfire. With no outs, you're going to have to go somewhere at this point.
Fills up the count on that pitch at 3-2.
Looks like now the bullpen getting a little bit of action here. Can't tell if that's 9 or 8 for Post 307 going out to warm up.
Arbogast at 90 pitches so far. Big swing and a miss. Strike number 3 as Witt will strike out and be the first out of the inning. Back up to the top of the order, the 4th time through the order now for Rapid City. It's Jonah Blake.
Baseball strategy wise, I won't be surprised when Witt gets re-entered for by Kostenbauer there. They're going to lift the DH, use him to do the pitching. I'm going to imagine for 307 in the bullpen is probably Canfield. It could be Paxton Sohn, but I have a belief that they're probably not going to use him in this situation.
First pitch called a foul. Blake in the hole now at 0-1. Game number 2, Harrisburg and Watertown. That'll be about 7:30 tonight. We'll fire up a new stream here on Post 17 TV. Make sure you stay tuned for the KXLG postgame show. They'll talk with the winning coach and a player from the winning team. That's all coming up in the KXLG postgame show. That pitch going to go down for a strike. 0-2 to Blake.
If you're Arbogast, Blake's an important out here. If you can find a way to record it, it keeps you within the threshold of being able to pitch here, and also make sure that you can limit the damage.
1-2 to Blake, who's 0 for 3 on the afternoon.
God, and it's a tough 0 for 3 too. You ground out to the second baseman and you fly out to center field twice. You're getting the bat on the ball, just not the results.
Popped up and will go foul. Count is still 1-2. Winner of this one gets the winner of Harrisburg and Watertown, 7 o'clock tomorrow. Loser of this one plays Yankton at 1 o'clock tomorrow. We'll have all those games and every single game of the tournament here on Post 17 TV.
If you're Yankton, you're really hoping Blake has a long at-bat here and forces Renner to put in another pitcher.
That is popped up and will go back into the seats. Count is still at 1-2. Rapid City got their 2 runs on the board in the 4th and now 3 here in the 7th. That's how we got this way. That is hit sharply into left field. That'll be a base hit. Going to score another 6-0 Rapid City.
That a great example of just sticking to the process. Like I said, Blake's had a lot of contact all day long, grounded out to second base, flew to center twice. You have to trust that getting the bat on the ball is going to end up resulting in good things. We can see Arbogast here probably a little bit fatigued and feeling like he let his team down a little bit. I can understand that feeling, but up until this inning, Brent, he had pitched great. He had pitched amazing.
Arbogast looks like he's probably going to be pulled here, and he will. Arbogast, great outing. 6 1/3, 8 hits, 6 runs, 6 earned, 5 strikeouts, and a walk. A very efficient outing here for Arbogast, kind of struggling in the 7th inning. But you take that 7th inning out, you take those 4 runs out, and Arbogast, a great inning.
Yeah, 320, again, they adjusted their approach kind of after the 2nd inning. They gathered in the dugout, I'm assuming, and said, hey, we got to get a little bit more patient. And they found a way to kind of chip away. They got a couple of runs. And this is where that patience, starting to gather fatigue on the opposing pitcher, kind of shows itself. You get a hit by pitch, you get a couple of hits. All of a sudden now things are starting to spiral out of control a little bit. And the pitcher for Renner, as I kind of assumed, is going to be number 8, Canfield.
Just want to thank Dakota Signs and Graphics, a beautiful video board out here at the stadium, as you see right there. Kind of showing off what we're doing here on Post 17 TV. Big thanks to Dakota Sign and Graphics for providing the, we'll call it Jumbotron out here at Watertown Stadium.
It's as close as we get to a Jumbotron, and when you walk by the thing, it's not huge, but especially when we had 1,300 people here last night, Brent, those people off in that far corner, having something visually that they can at least reference video-wise can be kind of helpful. So we're incredibly appreciative to them for donating that.
Bird will step into the batter's box and deliver that first pitch in foul territory. And coming on from right field, Lechtenberg. He's going to make the grab for the 2nd out of the inning as he came flying in there to make that 2nd out.
Really long run for both Lechtenberg and Moffitt. Moffitt having to run with his back to the infield. Obviously, you want Lechtenberg to take that ball if he can. He's able to get over there, call Moffitt off, and then help make sure that Blake doesn't get to tag up in advance.
Ground ball past the 3rd baseman. Fair is the call, as it's going to be a base hit here for Tegan Sales, and there's 2 more on here for Rapid City.
That time Sales really aggressive in the box, gets that first pitch, pulls it down the 3rd base line. And the thing you got to remember is it's the position of the baseball when it crosses over the back of the 3rd base bag. We have a 3-man crew. Typically we would have that 3rd base umpire standing there. However, on 2 outs with runners on, he's shifted into that middle of the infield position, so the home plate umpire having to make that judgment.
First pitch goes down for a ball into Melhoff, who is the 9th batter to come to the plate here for Rapid 320 in this 7th inning. That pitch going to go down for strike, 1-1. It's been a 4-run inning here for Rapid 320.
And with runners on, it's not done quite yet. They're going to get the opportunity to maybe put in another one here.
As that is delivered into center field, finding it is Stukel to get out of the inning. Rapid City bats 9. They'll send 4 across the plate. We're off to the bottom of the 7th inning. 6-0 Rapid 320. You're watching Post 17 TV.
Stop into Roy's Sports Shop for the newest and latest apparel, footwear, and equipment for your sports. Whether it's a new bat from Marucci, a glove from Rawlings, a new pair of shoes from Under Armour or Adidas, or a pair of Oakley sunglasses, Roy's Sports Shop has what you need. Check out their online spirit store for apparel from your favorite favorite team or school. Let them know if you'd like to start a new online store for your team or organization. Roy's Sports Shop is a local business that has served our area for the past 50 years. Roy's Sports Shop, East Highway 212, Watertown.
Whether you're cheering on your team from across the state or across the country, just know right here in Watertown, Sharp Automotive is driving hometown pride forward. From new Chevys and GMCs to trusted service and parts, Sharp Automotive is proud to support South Dakota Legion Baseball in the next generation of hometown heroes. Shop online anytime at sharpgm.com. We'll be here when you're ready. Sharp Automotive, driven to serve and proud to support all baseball fans.
Renner needs 6 runs here in the bottom of the 7th inning to continue playing baseball. It'll be up to Bjorkman, Lechtenberg, and Neufeld, the 5, 6, and 7 hitters here for Renner. First pitch fouled off into the dugout here for Bjorkman. 0-1 the counts.
And for Williamson, he's going to try and close this out, get efficient, and try and make sure that he gets out of here without having to bring somebody in. For 3:20, they've sent Lefebvre now down to the bullpen to get loose.
As that one is delivered into left field, a leadoff single here for Renner in the 7th inning. Well, we saw a big rally in a game earlier today as Brandon Valley tried to upset Post 22 in the 7th. Just couldn't get there. It was 11-9 Post 22 with the victory, but are we going to see the rally here in the 7th of our game?
I have a feeling, as that pitch is in there for a strike, that if you're Coach Jansen in 3:20, if you even get into a semblance of a jam here, you're probably ready to pull the trigger and go over to Lefebvre.
Popped up, and we'll go foul down the third base line. Go run and grab that. That's $1.
You know, if my 3 little ones were here, they'd all been racing for it. And as any good dad tax goes, I would have collected that $1.
Yes. That pitch goes down for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Lechtenberg.
I would have told them I paid the $8 or whatever it is for you to get in. This is just you paying me back at this point.
Strike number 3 as Lechtenberg will strike out, the first out of the 7th inning. Joe Neufeld to the plate now here for the Royals.
And Lechtenberg not super happy with that call. Probably felt that pitch was a little bit low. Enough in the knees for the umpire to call it, and if you're Renner, you're down to 2 outs to play with at this point.
First pitch. Strike. 0-1 to Joe Neufeld. Williamson at 94 pitches. That pitch goes down for a strike as now Neufeld falls in the hole at 0-2. Man on first is Bjorkman, led off this inning with a single.
And if you're Renner, a loss here isn't the end of the world. You do still get to go to a win-or-go-home game, but you want to have some kind of momentum, at least put together some type of rally. As strike 3 called there again on the knees, and Neufeld not super impressed with that call either.
That'll be the second out of the inning, and now Renner down to their final outs as Donahoe will go to the plates here and try to save this game for the Royals. And what an efficient ball game by Rapid City. That is what we just kept going back to, just efficient. Rapid City came to play in this one as that one is popped up. It's playable, shallow off the grass, grabbed there by a wall. Then that is the final outs of the inning. Ball game here. This one will go to Rapid 320 as they will defeat Renner 6-0. Let's take a look here at our post-game statistics before we get into the KXLG post-game show. We'll first start out with the Renner Royals. Just 3 hits on the afternoon. Goes to Bjorkman, Lechtenberg, and Sprankle. No RBIs, 21 at-bats, 3 hits, 3 walks, and 8 strikeouts. On the mound, Arbogast will take the L, go 6 1/3, 8 hits, 6 runs, 6 earned, 5 strikeouts in the walk. Canfield goes 2/3 of an inning in relief, 1 hit in the ball game. For Rapid City 320, 9 hits, a hit for Blake, Bird, Speed, Wald, and Wilson. 2 hit afternoons for Sales and Peterson. RBIs will go to Peterson, Speed, and Melhoff. 28 at-bats, 6 runs, 9 hits, 4 RBIs, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. Williamson gets the W, goes the distance, 7 innings, 3 hits, 8 strikeouts, and 3 walks. 6-0, Rapid City moves on as they defeat Renner here this evening. Time now for the KXLG postgame show. Jeremy and company will join us in 60 seconds to wrap this one up on Post 17 TV.
Good luck to the Watertown Post 17 baseball team from Tony Arnold Construction. If you're looking for a general contractor for custom homes in and around the Watertown area or are in need of residential, commercial home, and commercial home remodeling, give Tony Arnold Construction a call at 605-880-8497 or email TonyArnoldConstruction@gmail.com. Good luck to the Watertown Post 17 baseball team from Tony Arnold Construction.
Baseball fans, stop into the Wheel Inn for some home-cooked food. Open 7 days a week, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner with the best staff in town. Plus, online ordering is available. Visit WatertownWheelIn.com to order your favorites. Come to the Wheel Inn before or after the game for your home-cooked favorites. Open daily, 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Highway 20 in Watertown. Good luck to the Watertown Arrows in the State A Legion Tournament from the staff at the Wheel Inn.
All right, welcome. It's a KXLG postgame show. What a game that was, Roger Merriam. And we have Todd, who's getting the coach and a player here coming up in a little bit for the KXLG postgame show. Rapid City Post 320, they're the real deal.
Their shortstop made a couple plays this first inning already that were wow, and they caught everything, and the first baseman, we thought Terwilliger ran fast and power hitter. This kid matched him. Yeah. He hit a homer yesterday. Nolan Williamson was brilliant on the mound. Wow. This is not the team you thought was going to be in that game, but they are definitely a load.
Definitely. They're opening a lot of eyes, and boy, they're having a lot of fun too out there, and you can tell that. So here they come. Come on up here. We have Todd Jennings joining us here for this game. Our pregame didn't go on the air. Something didn't work with the live button, but we're here doing the postgame. So first of all right, congratulations. Heck of a performance. All right, go ahead, Ryan.
Nice job, Nolan.
Thank you.
Hey, you pitched here a couple months ago. It was a 1-0 game. You feel comfortable on the mound?
Yeah, I love this mound. Love this field.
And you guys hadn't faced Renner.
Yeah.
How'd you feel? How you think you threw today?
I think I threw pretty decent. Could have done some things better, but it was a good game.
Now, I don't know how many teams expected you guys to be playing an unbeaten game. What did you guys think?
We knew we had the team to do it. We knew we had the ability to make it to the championship, and job ain't finished. So
yeah, keep going. Good job.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Congratulations. Thank you. All right, let's bring Todd in, who's going to interview the coach, who I'm sure is pretty happy again today.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
You riding a big win yesterday, obviously, and then today come out and play as well as you did today. Give us some thoughts on the game.
Yeah, yesterday Layden put us on his back, and really today was no different. Nolan put us out right on his back. He's got big, broad shoulders, and we needed him today. So he went out there and dominated pretty well, threw a ton of strikes, and defense again played great behind him today. So that's kind of the formula for us right now. We kind of scrape across a few runs and play good defense and throw enough strikes to be dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. Just, like you say, you got the bats going a little bit there late in the game, and you were able to do that. How are you going to keep riding the big wave here? You look at it, he went 2-0 in the regions, beating Sioux Falls West, coming here, beat 320, and now you beat Renner. You got a nice four-game win streak going. How do you keep it going?
It's the little things. It's the simple stuff. Staying within ourselves, but being able to get up for the moment, but not making the moment too big. So baseball's an odd thing, right? And so, you can get awry pretty quick. But if you play within yourself, you got enough emotion in there, and you got enough grit, and you can start doing the little things like that last inning, right? I mean, we laid down 2-3 bunts in perfect spots, and those are tough to defend when you do that right. And when you do those little things like that, it's tough to beat.
Absolutely. I'm kind of a small ball guy myself, so I was glad to see some bunts getting down and like you said, in right spots. So congratulations, and keep them going.
I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
With a couple wins in this situation in a state tournament?
I don't know the entire history of it. It's been a while. I think they might have played. Gosh, in a semifinal, or maybe I don't remember. I wish I did remember. I just don't. I don't. I was worried about today, and I'm worried about tomorrow. So
yeah, very good. Congratulations. Your kids are sure pumped up. A lot of fun to watch you guys. So it's been a pleasure here watching 320, and they roll on and they get the win over Renner. I don't know how many people have that on their bracket that they filled out maybe before the tournament. What do you think, Roger?
Well, I'm thinking they beat the pre-tourney favorites. So I think that makes them able to beat anybody is the way I would look at it. So I was not even as shocked tonight as I was yesterday. And again, it comes down to pitching, and they've had two dominant pitching performances. And I guess we'll find out if they have number 3, 4, and 5 and what else they have, because that's going to decide what happens to them here.
Todd, I'll tell you what, that group, we kind of mentioned it, they're really fired up. They're a loud group coming out of the dugout. And, we talked about Max Speed yesterday and just getting everybody. He was really fired up today. That team, they're playing for something.
They are. They're playing with a lot of confidence right now. And again, you look at all the things they're doing well. They're getting good pitching, which is a big plus. Their defense is playing well behind them. They're bunting in situations, moving guys, and, they're able to score runs off that. So they're playing good baseball right now. There's no question about that.
Absolutely. So there we go. It's Rapid City, post 320, gets the win. And Renner, that's only their first loss, so keep that in mind. We got another game coming up here shortly. It's Watertown versus Harrisburg. Should be a lot of fun. We're probably running a little bit behind schedule, so keep it tuned here. We'll be back with the pregame show coming up before you know it. It's going to be a great game coming up. We're expecting a lot of people here in Watertown at the stadium. There was 1,300 people here last night. Going to be more tonight. If you're coming to root on the Arrows, supposed to wear black. So apparently Roger didn't get the memo.
Apparently not. He's got the gray. He's close. He's got the light gray going. So
that works. You weren't one of the 1,500 that was here for Todd Judding retirement night in the 90s. Come, Todd is here tonight, so you can honor him too.
And he might even take a picture with you. So there you go. That's a KXLG post-game show here live on Post 17 TV. We'll be back with the pregame show for the next game coming up a little bit later.
You've been watching coverage of the 2025 Class A American Legion Baseball Tournament on Post 17 TV. This has been a presentation of the Watertown Baseball Association in partnership with Aero TV and KXLG Radio. Like and subscribe to follow more of the purple and gold.